Hello and welcome everyone to another Starcraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game from the Korean Starcraft 2 League. It is between NSHSage and who I believe, excuse my bad Korean, I had to ask a friend who sort of speaks it. I believe this is STBomber. I believe it's Bomber. So if it's not, I apologise. I'm sure there'll be someone who will correct me in the comments below, and then I can embarrassingly change the title, and everyone can laugh at me saying here for the rest of the game this is Bomber. But that'll be fun because we can all have a little giggle. But hopefully it is Bomber. My friend can actually speak Korean relatively okay to work that out. And everything will be fine. But anyway, it's a PVZ. No, it's not. It's a PVT. And what does that mean? That means that essentially it's going to be a lot of infantry from Bomber and either Colossi or High Templar from Sage. These are two super good players, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm hyper. I've cast, like, seriously today, this is probably coming up to hour 5 of my casting marathon. I'm literally just casting game after game. I've cast loads of the Antec Attack Tournament, which I do live every Wednesday evening at 6:30 British time. So do tune in for that. It's on the DE Sports stream. I cast that live. So I've cast all the games we didn't cast live of those. I've cast quite a bit of Zotac Cup, and I'm now doing all the Korean StarCraft 2 League. So I'm just going for it. I'm in the zone. So anyway, we've got a nice little wall off here. I mean, this map is quite difficult to take a natural because it's a very, very wide ramp. Sage gonna have trouble like getting good force fields down, so both players will stick one base for probably a little while till they feel safe anyway. Specifically, I mean, Sage, his problem is force fields because that's really the best defense Protoss have early on, especially in that awkward transition phase when the Terran player gets up a Marine Marauder ball with Stim. Even before Medevacs are out, Marine Marauders with Stim wreck gateway units, and if the Protoss doesn't have anything to really deal with that, they rely on force fields to be effective. And on a map such as this with a wide ramp, getting effective force fields is difficult. Especially to completely cut an army in half, so will be interesting to see how Sage deals with that. Bomber, on the other hand, he can get a bunker down here and be okay to defend it, so hopefully that'll play out nicely. Meanwhile, we've got Cybercore, Gateway, and a gas down from Sage. Everything is going so normal, and actually Bomber going for a very, very fast command center, so obviously feeling very brave. So does lose that SCV, but judging from what he's seen, he hasn't seen that second gas. There's no second gas, which basically says it's probably not going to be some kind of 4-warp gate push or anything super all-in-ish or any super quick tech. He's getting that bunker very, very quickly here, but Bomber is. So Bomber, he's going to be in a good spot to defend. He's getting a good amount of Marines out, and really, if you've got a bunker of Marines, there's not too much your Protoss opponent can do to deal with that. So, at least not until they get out units. If Sage went for something like a robotics facility, got an Immortal out, then yes, it'd be a bit more difficult, but something like this one Zealot isn't going to be able to do much at all. And Keeley, Sage, he's coming down here, he's banking up a lot of minerals, he's going to get an expansion himself, because he knows that this expansion's down for Bomber, which essentially screams, I'm not going to attack you, I'm really not. So obviously, Sage will want to keep up economically, but into the bunker just to deal with that Stalker as well. Probe goes down super quick, that basically alleviates the risk of any sort of proxy pylon. 2 more barracks being added on here, as well as the first gas here for Bomber. So that means he can get some kind of key tech upgrade. Not sure what he will go for yet, but hopefully he'll go for something good. It's most likely to be Stim, because as I said originally, Stim completely wrecks gateway units, so almost certain to see that come down at some point soon. Second gas out now for Sage, still just operating off that one gateway, so hopefully we'll see some more added on soon, but both players playing pretty defensively. There goes down the robotic facility. That primarily is going to be used for the Observer, to get that out quickly to know exactly what's coming. The Tech Lab is on the barracks, so really what Sage needs to see is how much production is there. Is this going to be a massive infantry push super quick, in which case I need to tech up to be able to deal with that, and really that's a big tell. It's also from the Observer he'll know how many Marauders are in the mix, and as a result be able to deal with that effectively by getting out more Immortals, for example. So far though, both players playing very, very passively. Neither one going for any big all-in or anything like that. The third gas down now for, well, both players. Nope, Bomber's on 2 gas. It's the 3rd gas for Sage, 2 gas for Bomber. Bomber is getting stim out, so everything going so normally right now. Still marine production though, no marauders as of yet, which it's debatable whether that's a good move or not. These 2 stalkers being kept here are perfectly safe because there's nothing really the Bomber can do to prevent that thing scouting info. If he moves out, you can just run the stalkers away, but getting that early information is definitely important. Also, Sage getting these sentries out super early, that's to bank up energy for a lot of force fields. It's a good choice, because ultimately if you see a big push coming, you can warp in a wave of stalkers to be defensive. A good scan gone over there by Bomber. But with sentries, if you warp them in late, well, they've only got energy for 1 force field, whereas if you warp them in early and they get a full amount, then you're fine. There goes the robotics bay. Was that scouted by Bomber? Yes, it was, so he knows that's coming out. That basically means Colossi are on the way to deal with this mass ball of Marines, so gonna need to do something else other than Marines. Actually building up a big lot up here. So no starport yet, so there goes now, there goes the reactor. So there's going to be a drop, but it depends whether this observer does come over. Because if the observer does go over there, then obviously Sage is going to know this is purely Marines. There's going to be a big double drop coming in because there's a reactor there. And really it all comes down to, will the observer see it? It'll be a big tell, but it looks like Sage not over there yet. What is this observer going to do? If it goes over there, it's going to be such a tell, but we will wait and see if he does spot that. Meanwhile, back in Sage's base, he's getting that extended thermal lance chrono boosted out. He's adding more gateways, getting the first Colossi out, and that Colossi is going to be absolutely essential to deal with everything. Where's that observer? Still wandering around and hasn't scouted around the back, so has no clue about those Marines. Thinks this is the entire army. And to be honest, unless you're like really good with Sages, counting these Marines, you won't be like, ah, that's not enough Marines. But more barracks being added on here. The 4th gas just got up there for Bomber. And meanwhile, Sage, what's he got? He's got all 4 gas. A scan goes off, knows exactly what's coming out. The Twilight Council, the extra 2 gateways. That's a 4 gateway total with 1 robo facility. Probably, I'd imagine Charge would come out, but it could be Blink as well. Both are viable options for the Protoss army, but essentially we'll see momentarily. And really this is a big push coming out, and this big push is not actually going to be followed by anything. What are these Marines doing? I'm really confused, because there's no sort of drop tech or anything coming out. I mean, it's possible that there could be a drop, but essentially I don't know why he just leave it there. He's seen that the robotics facility's out, so you can assume Colossi. It is possible the War Prism speed was coming out, but it seems very unlikely. Anyway, this army for Sage is pretty scary. He doesn't want to engage that head on. Bomber wants to engage on his own terms. The scouting factory there, because scouting factories are awesome. Second Colossi's out, and to be honest, Sage won't go for a big push until he gets more Colossi out. Probably around 4. When he'll go and start really harassing. Before that, he might not get the critical mass. Viking production has been started though. Sage gave away, it's going pure Colossi pretty soon. And still, these Marines are sitting here. I don't know, I must be missing something really obvious on why those Marines are there. But, do forgive me if there is. But I think it's almost like there was for drop defense, or was going to be for a drop of his own, and he's just kind of left them there and forgotten. But that's fine, we'll let Bomber off because he's such an awesome player. Anyway, we have got more of a push coming in here. It's just going to come up, and really, I don't think the Bomber's going to engage anytime soon. It would be really risky, especially up to these Colossi here. The Viking count is not high enough yet. There's only 3 on the field. Need to get up at least to probably about kind of 5 to 7 before Bomber would even start considering it, because otherwise his infantry is going to get shredded. The 4th Colossi is nearly down, and once that 4th Colossi is down, then we'll see really Sage start getting aggressive, because he'll start being able to shred those Marines so effectively. We still got 1 medevac coming up with a single Marine, which is going to stim in just to get a good little scout job. We'll see all of those Colossi, and that's a big tell. The Stalkers are here though, and they need to be careful. Without those Colossi back up, they're going to get shredded. The 3rd base coming down for Bomber at the moment. No sign of a 3rd base yet for Sage. Still just having a quick look around. More Vikings coming out. These Vikings are going to be essential in any engagement that goes down, and essentially now he's up to 7. He's going to start feeling a bit more confident to start really dealing with these Colossi effectively. What's down here is a lot of pylons for Sage. if in doubt, build more pylons. Still though, this Stalker army is being very, very aggressive. Blink is done, so obviously can back off quickly. Wants to try and pick up any Vikings, keep those numbers down. Obviously, although the Viking numbers are lower, he's going to be in a good spot to engage head-on with the Colossi, because once the Viking numbers get high, obviously the Colossi start getting killed in one volley, which is never a fun time. Meanwhile, a lot more gateways being added on here. No sign of any upgrades. Well, +1 armor out on its way out for Sage, +1 armor and weapons infantry down there. And now we've got a big little push coming in here, and this is looking really, really scary. The Vikings are there, want to have a good engagement if possible. And really, Sage is shredding this army with those force. There's some great force fields, really keep most of the Marauders out of the fight. And Bomber, he's still ahead in supply, but once those Colossi go down, he's really not got any use for those Vikings. All the SCVs are being pulled as well, trying to do any damage they can, and the numbers are now definitely swinging in Bomber's favour, using the SCVs to soak up some fire. But the big concern, obviously, for Bomber is, well, his main infantry army is getting a bit low, but he did manage to kill most of those Colossi, which is a really, really big tell. The forward pylons, though, are pretty good, so big warpins will be coming down. Are there any Colossi left? No, he did manage to get all of them, so that on its own is really, really effective. But a lot of his supplies in those Vikings, which won't be effective, obviously, while there's no Colossi out. Still no sign of a third base yet for Sage. He does have the money to do it. There's this one Marine here which is keeping an eye on the timing, and these Stalkers are going to come into the base, and they're going to be irritating. Vikings even landing again on this action may as well, because there's nothing else for them to shoot. And these Stalkers are going to come straight in, picking off a couple of supply depots, and then they can blink out the back. So really good choice for Bomber here. Amazing choice getting those Marauders down the back. Marauders obviously going to deal very, very effectively with these Stalkers. They will get taken out with lower numbers, but not because they do a good amount of damage and pick up a lot of stuff. So this was all really good choices, literally everywhere. That factory getting a lot of information, knowing to put him back, and Sage only just now taking his third base. Meanwhile, if we look at the work count, 41 to 50, when you take mules into account, they're about equal. And essentially, it looks like Sage is coming on to feel more pressure, but with only that one Colossi out, I'm just a bit concerned for him that, well, these Vikings will shred the Colossi nearly instantly. There's a lot more medevacs coming out, and this infantry army is pretty damn scary. +2 infantry weapons coming out. These Stalkers yet again go for exactly the same move as before. Just run through, utilise their quick speed, or just blink out if things get a bit hairy, which is exactly what he's going for. Such a good choice, such good strategic play there by Sage. That if things aren't working, pull back, don't overcommit, get what you can for free, and run away. And that's going to really allow him. I mean, both players are playing so cost effectively. I mean, they are both on pretty equal supply lost. I mean, Bomber is ahead by about 20 supply, but essentially when you take into account the Colossi count and things like that, it's fair enough, but a lot of the Vikings are using up supply, which won't be too effective. I mean, 2 Colossi isn't a huge threat, and they are going to get shredded by those Vikings so quickly. Need more, definitely needs more infantry in this army, which takes time to build up, whereas obviously Sage can resupply pretty quickly. But having said that, Bomber's just got so much in terms of production. He's got so many barracks out. He's only got the 1 starport though, but definitely manages his money very, very well, getting that third base up and running nicely. Meanwhile, the third base is up for Sage, but he's not mining off of it yet, so doesn't need to worry too much. Obviously, he's got a good, well-rounded army. Upgrade-wise, it's 1-1 for both, to 1-2, 2-1 sorry, for Bomber. So slight upgrade advantage there. We are going to see an engagement. The Vikings do go, absolutely shredding those Colossi so quickly with great money force fields come down. The Viking numbers are getting taken out, but obviously that's fine because all the Colossi are gone now. The Vikings landing together in this action. The sentries did have a good wave of force field, but low on energy, and now this is looking ever so good for Bomber right now. He's had some good stims, medevac numbers are high, the Stalker numbers are going down exceptionally quick, reinforcements streaming in here for Bomber, and I think Bomber is going to have a good, solid push here. Sage should be able to hold it with warpins, but he is pulling all of his probes. He may lose this third base, and that would really be bad, but those probes soaking up a lot of damage. And with these reinforcements, Bomber may actually be able to just end the game here. It's going to be close though because this push is losing a lot of momentum, and really this third base is going to go down. But Sage, nope, he's going to GG and leave the game then and there. So I do hope you enjoyed. Bomber played amazingly there. So if you did enjoy, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe, which is of course youtube.com/Maddles91, which is on screen now. Follow me on Twitter, which is @SC2_England. Most importantly, if you did enjoy it, have any comments, tell me what you think of the game below. That'd be awesome because interaction's great. Thank you very much for watching though, and tune in again. Bye for now.